Greetings, Guardians! What's going on, guys? My name is Pone, and today I'm going to finally be able to talk to you guys about this game and give you my full, honest review. Before we get started, though, I do want to give a quick shout-out. We do have a clan/group available on Bungie.com. I'll leave a link in the description down below. Come join out if you're looking for people to do strikes, runs, farming runs, any of that kind of stuff, PvP, higher raids. That stuff will be located in the description below. But with that aside, let's talk about what makes this game so amazing. A lot of people see me quoting this, that this is one of the best games that I've played in the last 5 years, if not the best game I've played in the last 5 years. And it's because it attacks my specific tastes in video games. Now, I've seen a lot of issues. People have complained about stories and other things. So there is just absolutely no way that in a time, fashion manner, I can tell and fully review this game in probably less than 30 minutes. So I'm going to do my best to kind of tell you exactly how I feel about the game and a couple facts about it before we go on any further. If you guys do not know that Destiny is available on old gen and current gen, I don't say next gen anymore because lol, why? So as it is right now, it is available on those 4 platforms. It is an awesome game on all 4 platforms. And above all, the game has long-term playability. Now, a lot of people are saying this game is just like Borderlands. Kind of. A lot of people are saying, oh, it's just like Halo. Kind of. Realistically, it's more like something, like a PvP mix, but it's also more like something like Diablo, an ARPG or an MMO, because a lot of this game is going to come down to grinding. So if you've ever enjoyed games like Borderlands mixed with Halo, mixed with Diablo or something, we have your awesome breakfast burrito in Destiny. So, now let's address the first thing. From the start, the characters. There are 3 playable classes. You've got Warlock, Titan, and Hunter. Now, they have different abilities and subclasses too, where they have different supers. Now, supers are things that you build up over time. You can see my super bar down in the bottom left corner when I spawn here in the matchmaking game, that it builds up over time, doing good, picking up orbs of light, so on and so forth. It stacks and eventually allows me to have this one, if you will, kill streak. That could be super, super unique to the class that you are playing. So, what are you doing? You can have a secondary weapon, a heavy weapon, and a primary weapon. Ammo for these weapons are located on the maps, indicated by, the little green boxes are for the special ammo, which can be shotguns, fusion rifles, and snipers, and primary weapons can be, your own kind of rifles, automatics, so on and so forth. You guys should know the basic stuff by now. So the classes are pretty well customizable. You can, stack towards more defensive, more speed-hardy characters, anything like that. So there's some pretty decent customization in towards how you want to build and carry your character. Hey, you may want to change it or have one subclass for farming. You may want to have one subclass for PvP. I do. So there's plenty of, freedom when it comes down to developing your character to play how you want. So there's not going to be too many people playing it the exact same way that you do. So take honor in knowing that you may have something that works well for you, but may not be great for that guy. That guy just teleported in front of me just to get a face full of hand. I just palmed him so good. So, again, you have your melee. Now, there are a couple things. We'll talk about Crucible before we get into the PvE, because that's going to be a longer topic. Crucible is basically matchmaking, where you do your traditional expected out of something like Call of Duty or Halo. You have your team deathmatch, your Rumble, which is going to be free-for-alls, domination-type game types. You got all of that stuff that you expect to have out of this game right now. And on top of that, you can go in and play with friends. It can be up to 6v6. There's 3v3s and other things. I don't feel like I need to talk about this anymore. You're playing other people. Now, I think gear has a very awkward place in this one. I don't think, the heavier the gear, the better your player character, scales. I think there's some kind of balance involved in PvP. I don't know what it is exactly. I think it may be something like every gun has a base damage, those extra bonus damage modifiers that you have on your guns, I think only affect PvE and not PvP. Now things like, you have your gun leveled up and you have reduced recoil or a faster rate of fire, I think that stuff is still in play, having more discipline for cooldowns on your super or whatever else your grenade throws, I think that still plays in. So very little things you can do to give yourself an advantage with your gear in PvP, and I think I'm right on this. This is the only thing that I can think of. I may be wrong. Somebody can correct me if I want. But I know is I was a level 2 character going in against level 22s, and I was killing them. So PvP is somewhat balanced, and that's a good thing. There are a couple things in PvP that kind of need a little bit of work. There are some kind of netcode issues or something along the lines. It seems to only be surrounded by the melee issues. You'll see it a couple times in this gameplay, where I'll melee a guy once or twice, which should be enough to kill him, and then he doesn't die till after the fact. Given somebody having close range, fusion rifles, or shotguns, I can easily die in a period where I shouldn't have died. So there's some kind of hit registration / delay or something going on. That'll be, just weaned out in the future, so that's not a big deal to me. Another one is, if you play on a map that is large enough, some of the on-map vehicles can be extremely destructive and are almost impossible to kill. they can be a little out of line, so you're going to have to, you know, understand that you can do that stuff at any time. Now that that's been covered, let's talk about the greatness of the PvE/farming. Now, the campaign and solo player, or actually I guess it could be co-op, you know what I mean, the single player campaign story mode. It is a little short. The way I look at it is this game, if you did not know, has a 10-year plan set up. They have a 10-year plan, budget and everything put aside. This game has 10 years to go. Basically, we saw the prologue. That was just the introduction. I explained when I'm like, oh wow, the campaign wasn't super dip or super gripping. It was just the origin of what Destiny is to be. It's lubing you up, man. That's all that is. It's getting you ready. It's a little bit of foreplay before they actually unleash the full story. I expect expansions and DLCs out the wazoo with this game. So with that, we basically just saw chapter 1 of like 10 potential chapters. So out of the, 8 hours it takes to complete the gameplay, 10 hours it takes to completely beat the story mode, or however long it took you, expect there to be another 5 to 10 more of those to come along. We're just scratching the surface. We just opened the cover. So for those that are saying the story wasn't that good, dude, that's just chapter 1. So just keep that in mind when you play this. It wasn't the best thing in the world. It wasn't super gripping or super entertaining. It was worth doing. I say everybody should do it once. Now, we go on to what is after you hit the level cap of level 20. Now, when you do hit the level cap of level 20, few things start opening up. You can start getting legendary drops, better items, and you can also start getting things on your gear called light. Now, these are kind of what they call soft and hard levels. When you start getting gear that has light equipped on it, you can start getting higher levels than 20. I believe the light cap is actually 30. Not too big a deal, just better gear, so on and so forth. Very few things change with that right now, but just being completely honest with you, it's going to be useful when you start playing in larger things, higher level strikes. Now, strikes are basically what most people do after you've completed level 20, you've beat the campaign, you've done your crucible. These strikes are what people do for longer missions, for better drops, unique other things. Now, there are tons of currencies and advantages in the world. You can get loot dropped from creatures when you're farming or fighting any random creature in any sort of story mode or strike or something like that. You can get gear from just playing in a crucible match, and you can randomly get this. Understand, all that stuff is random, but there are also other types of currencies in the game that you can get by simply just playing and doing bounties, things that you have acquired from the tower, which is basically the hub where people can go. The tower is where you can go, and there's vendors. You can sell stuff, buy stuff, so on and so forth. Is where you can store your items and everything like that. But there are Vanguards. There are Vanguard marked, Crucible marks, things that you can do from just doing missions over and over again. There's lots of different currencies, strange coins, motes of light. There's tons of them. So this game has a very unique, I guess, system too when it comes down to getting your gear, building your gear. There are scaling things. There's common, which are whites, greens are uncommon, rares are blues, legendaries are purples, and exotics, the highest grade quality piece of equipment you can find, are yellow. So again, this has definitely got that kind of Diablo-ish sort of feel. So you're going to have to grind for gear if you want some of the best of the best of the best. Now, where do you do that? Now, you can choose to continuously do strikes over and over, and because of the bounties and the level difficulties and the randomness when you go into certain strikes and so on and so forth, the missions change up, so it is semi-refreshing when you do these. But again, this is a grinding game, so if you can't see yourself doing the same stuff over and over and over again, trying to get that reward, then this game may not be the best for you. But understand, this game is basically 2 games in 1. You do have your matchmaking in your Crucible, which is great. I would rate the matchmaking in this game an 8 out of 10. I would rate the PvE, the elements like where you do farming and everything like that, at a 9 out of 10. Overall, I would give this game an 8.5, 9 out of 10. And in my opinion, in my just natural flavors, my tastes in video games, this has probably been the best game I've played in the last 5 years. And it's going to be more worth it because of the time that you put into it. And I've put quite a few hours into it trying to prepare and teach you guys some of my runs and what I do. So yeah, the game can get a little repetitive, but it's all worth it in games that are similar to this. It feels so rewarding when you get that. That's one of the few things that has set Call of Duty aside from other shooters in the day. There's a reward system. It is called the perk system, not the perk system, but excuse me, the kill streak system. You feel good when you build streaks and get high streaks and you play in Call of Duty. The same thing happens when you grind for gear and you get that one really, really awesome item. It all makes it worth it. So when there is a reward system in play in a game, it's going to add to that grind. It's going to be like, oh, it's so worth it when I get it. So it adds to the appeal of that game. So with that being said, this game has incredible PvE, incredible farming, incredible grinds. Things are changing. Raids are coming out this evening. I'm going to be doing live streams of them. Again, the game is incredible. It's a must-have. If I had to choose between playing this game and any other game in the next year or so, I would pick this game hands down. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you have some of the same feelings I do. If not, tell me what you think about the game, what are your favorite things about it, what things do you dislike about the game. I'm curious to see what the community has to say about it. I will catch you guys on a live stream soon or a video soon as well. Thank you guys for everything. Subscribe if you are new here for future daily videos. And, you know, like the video if you want to support it. I'll catch you guys around. Take care.